Hi, friend. Okay. Yeah, I'm coming to you in straight Christmas pajamas, okay? It is what it is, and we're going to be fine. We're going to make it through me wearing Christmas pajamas while I record this podcast episode. If you're just listening, then you're fine. If you're watching it on YouTube, they're really comfy, and I didn't want to change because Kyle is getting the kids from school today so that I can record this podcast, and I wanted to be comfy and cozy because that's like the biggest perk of being a virtual assistant, right? And I'm going to talk about virtual assistant work today because we're past the holidays now. It's the end of January. As I record this is January 29th. So we're at the end, right? Like we're at the point where things are going to start looking back up again. Most of you are going to get tax returns, or you're going to not have the financial struggle you were having a few months ago whenever you were saving for Christmas or different things. I want to invite you to think about working from home, either as a side hustle or as a full-time job, okay? But I know that's going to bring up thinking that you're not qualified to work from home. Okay. Let's just dive right in. Okay. Have you ever thought about working from home, but you stop yourself because you're not sure that you have the right skills to do it? Or you've maybe even said, who would hire me? I haven't worked in so long. And if that's you, please listen up because this episode is 100% for you. Okay. So if you don't know my backstory, I would go listen to episode 1. Yeah, episode 1, I think, is when I share my story. I got a thumbs up from that. Why did they do that? Anyway, if you're watching or if you're listening, the video gave me a thumbs up whenever I gave a thumbs up. AI is wild. Okay, so anyway, 2019, 2020 era-ish, I had an in-home daycare. I had it for years. Literally, since my daughter was 2, I had an in-home daycare. I wasn't really happy with it anymore. The state where I live in is insanely regulated when it comes to daycares, and I'm not joking, made me build a hallway through the middle of my garage as a fire escape. Quotation, heavy on the quotations, a fire escape. And it made me I couldn't do it anymore. So I wanted to get out of daycare. But I kept saying to my husband, who would hire me? I remember particularly, I was sitting on the couch and I was just sobbing because I was like, who would hire me? I'm just a mom. I only know how to run daycares. Like, how am I going to find somebody to hire me? I don't have any skills. There's that thumbs up again. I had been a hairdresser before that. So I really didn't have what I thought was going to classify experience. Even though looking back, hindsight, I had experience running a whole ass business. It was an actual business, and I let myself believe that it wasn't because why would I think highly of myself? That's not true. Okay? If you think you don't have a skill set, that is not true. Point blank, period. End of discussion. Book note that, okay? By the end of this episode, you'll see exactly how you can take skills that you already have and how you can start earning from home as a virtual assistant, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is go over this whole I'm not qualified thing that I have had so many people say to me. Like, so many people have said, I don't think I'm qualified. I don't think I can do it. Listen, we have been conditioned to think that we need a fancy degree or we need college or years of experience, and that's just not true. It's just simply not true. I don't have a college degree. I don't have what would be considered years of in a tech bro world, but yet I can bring in $2,000 when I do a website design for somebody. Like, you don't have to think traditionally, okay? You can think outside the box. You have a skill set, okay? You have one, okay? I just want you to think about your daily life. If you can keep track of your kids' soccer schedule, you can be a virtual assistant. If you've ever planned a birthday party, or if you know how to use an inbox with emails, you got this. You've got this. This is the business where that kind of stuff is what people are begging for. Okay? So let me tell you how skills that you have can translate into a virtual assistant skill. So organization. Okay? If you're good at being organized, that means that you can go into a business for somebody that is not an organized person and organize it for them. Say managing their calendar. Okay? That's a perfect example of one. I've worked with a client that was just like, I want it on my calendar, but I don't want to be the one to do it, and I want it to make sense. But they couldn't figure out how to make it make sense. You go in, you do a few things like that, and you're perfect. Are you really good at talking to people? Because if you are, you could do customer service. You could do customer service emails. I'm telling you, that'd be perfect for you. If you're creative, okay, what if you're like a creative person and you're like, oh, I love like going in and editing my pictures before I post them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever. There's like a gazillion now. Anyway, if you like editing, if you like doing those types of things, you could be a social media manager. Do you know how many people don't want to post on social media as a business owner, but they have to? Because that's like what makes everything work. Oh my gosh. It just, okay. I get so excited. Yeah, those are skills that could totally translate into a virtual assistant skill set. Okay. Then you're like, okay, great. I know what skill I've got, but then what do I do? What do virtual assistants do? Like, how do I become one? I always say that being a VA is like being a secretary, but doing it online. So instead of going into a desk and sitting down at an office and doing things for that business owner inside of the office, you just do it on the internet. That's all it is. You help business owners with tasks that they don't have time for. Like, they don't want to be in their inbox. They want to be doing other things like creating the social media post, or they would rather be in their inbox and they don't want to make the social media post, or they cannot stand the thought of managing a calendar. Like, it just, or like their Google Drive, disaster. Like, it is like 17 spreadsheets that are the same thing. There's no organizing, there's no flow. They can't find anything. That's where VAs come in, and it's so good. Okay. So my favorite part about VA work is how flexible it is, right? Because you are going out and finding the clients, the people that want to hire you to work for them. You're not selling anything. You don't have to post on social media, but you're getting to choose the tasks that you're doing and the type of clients that you work with. And then you build your work schedule around your family schedule. So instead of the other way around, like a typical job where it's, okay, you fit your family time in when you're not working. This flips that on its head. You work when it works into your family schedule, which is just chef's kiss perfection. So you can work and be present for your kids. Like, no, I'm not picking up my kids today because they got out 2 hours early and I needed to get this podcast recorded. And my husband has the flexibility because he owns his own business as well. So typically any other day, though, I'm going to be picking up my kids and my work schedule fits into my life, not the other way around, okay? Ooh, I lost my notes. I want to share with you. One of the tasks that I used to do for a client is, she had job listings that she would need posted every day. I would think realtors maybe have to have this. She was a coach for nurses, teaching women how to be a remote working nurse. Okay. So she had this membership where nurses would join and then she would find job listings and post them every day. That got really annoying to her because she wanted to be out making the TikToks. She didn't want to be doing this stuff anymore. So she hired my business to do the listings for her, to source them, to find them, to do all the things that comes along with that. Took probably an hour and a half a day, maybe 2 hours if it was a day where there weren't a ton of listings. That brought in $2,000 a month. Like, for 2 hours of work a day, Monday through Friday, whenever I wanted it. It just had to be done by 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's the kind of thing that makes virtual assistant work that is just one example, okay? And that's just one client. That's how it stacks, is then you do a really good job. And then you ask them, hey, do you know any other business owners that would need a virtual assistant? And then it can grow by mouth. And using the strategies that I teach inside of my courses, you could also just get into Facebook groups, build that way, so you're double building. So good, so good. Okay. Next, I want to address the self-doubt that's going to sneak in. The most common things that I always hear are, I don't know where to start. I don't know how to find clients. I'm not tech savvy. That one's a very big one. I'm going to tell you right now, when I got my first VA job, I had zero idea what I was doing. She was saying platform names, like she was talking about Monday.com and ClickFunnels and Kajabi and all of these platforms that I had no idea what they were. I would get off the phone call with her and I would Google and I would watch YouTube videos and I would teach myself how to do everything so that I could learn. So it's more about having the willingness to learn versus going out there and saying, oh, I know how to do everything and I'm not going to do it until I know exactly how to do it. My courses will teach you how to do 90% of the work, but clients aren't hiring you for you to be perfect and know everything inside and out before you take your first client, okay? They are literally just trying to hire you to take tasks off their plate. That's it. They just want you to make their life easier, and they want you to do it well and quickly. And sometimes they'd rather have it done quickly than well. If I'm being very honest. You don't have to know what you're doing right away. You just have to be willing to get out there and try, and then you have to be willing to be in a learning mindset. That's literally all it is. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down, let's say 5 things that you did today or tomorrow, if you want to do it tomorrow. Think of 5 things that you did in your day where you're like, oh, that could probably be useful for somebody being a virtual assistant. That could probably be useful to somebody who owns an online business. If you're checking your emails and then you're putting them into special folders because you keep your email inbox very organized, that, my friend, is a huge thing that you can market yourself for. Let's say that you find yourself putting out a fire in your family, not like a physical fire, but like your husband comes home from work and he has an issue with somebody in the office and you're like, okay, this is what I would say customer service. Let's say that you find yourself looking at your kids' school calendar and it comes together like Rain Man. Like all the, like you see the numbers swirling and you're like, okay, if I take this kid here at this time and then I move this kid here and then I pick this up and then I can get dinner in the crock pot now and blah, 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 and it all makes sense to you. You can manage somebody's calendar so easily. Make your head spin so easily. Okay? It's so good. It's so good. Okay, this is getting long. Anyway, I'm just going to wrap it up. Wrap it up. Just write down some things. And then this is the step 2. So step 1, you're going to write down all the things that you did that you were good at that you feel like you could translate into a virtual assistant. You're going to write those down. 2, you're going to take that piece of paper and the link that's in the show notes or anywhere on my social media, and you're going to sign up for my free information session. Okay? It's totally free. And I will walk you through way less hot mess than this. Okay? My podcast, I like to treat it like I'm talking to you in my garage. That's the vibe I like to have. I'm not polished. I never will be. I don't want to read off a script. I'll read off of notes that I made myself, but I'm not your person if you're looking for perfection. It's just, it ain't your girl. But the information session is a little bit more polished, just a little. still a hot mess, but just a little less hot mess. Okay. But imagine taking the free information session, taking these specific things that I have that I can offer you, and being able to wake up a few Mondays from now and know that you're going to be able to make money for the month, working just 1 hour a day, maybe 2, and you can bring in income for your family. I think some people, if they had 2 to 3 clients, they could probably replace their full-time income. Like, genuinely. Like, it's so exciting, okay? So anyway, there's a link in the show notes. I want you to grab a spot to the free information session. It will blow your mind, okay? It will truly blow your mind what is available for you if you just take a chance on yourself. And like, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you're in the exact same position that you were in when you signed up for the free information session. So anyway, grab it. It's in the show notes. If you found this helpful, please let me know on Instagram or the TikTok or anywhere that I am on social media. Facebook, that seems to be a place that like a lot of people resonate with me on, which I freaking love. Facebook has had my heart forever. And I'm a little disappointed that the AI didn't give me a heart. Oh, there it goes. Good job. Good job. Okay, I'm going to end on that. Way to go. Way to go. All right. I love you so much. Get a hold of me if you have any questions. Anywhere on the socials, I'm there. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.